Hello, vegans and fellow meat lovers. Welcome to another episode of Veganism Debunked. This time, we're going to be doing a vegan diet review and see what went wrong when ex-vegan Cosmic Skeptic tried to be vegan. We are also going to see what advice lifting vegan logic has for him and if it stands up to scrutiny. So without further ado, play the video.
Being vegan is healthy at all stages of life, including pregnancy, as if this is new information to me, as if this isn't something that I was already aware of and wasn't citing myself. Of course, the American Dietetic Association says that a well-planned vegan diet is healthful at all stages of life. The key point is well planned there, and my problem is not with the idea that every nutrient that's required to be healthy can be found in a plant-based diet. I think that it can. My problem is with the practicability of maintaining it for myself. All that happened was in practice, in my life, I found it difficult to maintain a healthy plant-based diet. That's it, really. I understand why that would annoy people or upset people, especially given that I'm somebody with a public platform, but that's what this breaks down to. Now, for most of my life, I've had a particular set of health issues, just like most people have some health issues that I must stress are unrelated to veganism. They're not caused by veganism. I had them before I was vegan. It's nothing like that. But for instance, one of the most important or relevant here is IBS, or irritable bowel syndrome, which people have to varying degrees. I've suffered with it quite severely for most of my life. It's not been as bad as I've been getting older, but it essentially translates to having some severe stomach problems, as well as, I don't really know how to put it, but you need to make sure you have access to a toilet. One of the great miseries of my life was that I essentially wouldn't be able to go anywhere that didn't have an immediate toilet access, because otherwise I'd be absolutely stuck out. And the anxiety of just being there and knowing that that was the case would be enough to bring on the symptoms of IBS, and I'd just be paralyzed by it.
So Cosmic Skeptic had a pre-existing disease which gave him digestion issues, and he had to run to the toilet very often. Now, how this relates to veganism is that when you are vegan, you eat a lot of plants, and plants contain fiber. The more fiber you eat, the more you are going to be visiting the toilet. If you eat a fully plant-based diet, I'd say you're going to visit the toilet 2 to 5 times per day. If you eat an omnivorous diet of both plant and animal products, you're going to visit the toilet 1 to 2 times a day. If you eat a fully carnivorous diet of cheese, eggs, meat and fish, you'll be visiting the toilet once a few days. Now, if you have pre-existing digestion issues that make you run to the toilet often already, which diet is going to compound your problems the most? That's right, the vegan diet, where you eat a whole lot of fiber that makes you run to the toilet more than you normally would.
It sounds, as we go forward, you'll see that he has certain foods that he's determined trigger his symptoms more than others, okay? And I guess a lot of those foods are going to be vegan foods. So that's what I gather. I'm going to be honest, and I'm not trying to say this to virtue signal, but this kind of thing would never make me go back to eating animal products. I understand this. Food becomes this kind of thing that you can't really enjoy as much anymore. It's more of something that you associate with anxiety. And I get all this. But again, because I say I get all this doesn't mean that I now get why you're paying for fish or whatever animal products he's consuming, to be murdered.
You heard it straight from the vegan. A lot of the foods that are going to be causing Cosmic Skeptic problems are vegan foods. And that's because vegan foods are high in fiber, which is going to send a person to the toilet even if they don't have pre-existing digestion issues. Although lifting vegan logic acknowledges that vegan foods are going to cause digestion issues, for the Cosmic Skeptic, he does not understand why and is still against Cosmic Skeptic eating fish and other animal products. So what is his solution here?
My problem is with the practicability of this. You can imagine in a situation like the one I've just described, how it can be difficult even to make sure you're getting the right amount of calories, let alone making sure that you're on top of your macro and your micronutrient balance. Now, it's important to stress that I don't have any health problems, at least to my knowledge, that are caused by veganism, right? Like the IBS thing, I'm not saying that veganism causes this. And of course, even if somebody's a non-vegan, living in this way is not the healthiest way to live. You're still going to run into problems if you're not eating for a whole day and only eat like a couple of meals or one meal in the evening when you get the opportunity. But because of the fact that it is easier to get the nutrients that are required to be healthy on a non-vegan diet, which say what you like about it being easy to live healthily as a vegan, which I believe in many cases it can be and is. It is easier to not be one. I found that in practice.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is true. Just in regard to the accessibility aspect of it, there's going to be way more animal products that you just have available to you that you can consume. And obviously, animal products are nutrient dense. Like we don't have to lie to ourselves about that. I know what nutrient dense foods are as somebody who's relatively interested in nutrition, which are vegan foods, by the way. And it's just when I get home from events, I eat a shit ton, and I get all my calories in one go type thing, or like in 2 goes over the course of 6 hours while I'm home, big meal and then another big meal. You can also get things like Soylent or Huel. These are very nutritionally adequate foods. I don't know, again, how his body would respond. I would have just had things like Huel or Soylent, things that are very largely fortified with things that we need. I wouldn't have like lettuce or just simply rice or something, right?
Lifting vegan logic suggests that the solution would be Huel, which is high in fiber. Soylent, lettuce, and rice also contain fiber. He is giving Cosmic Skeptic the kind of advice that will have him running to the toilet more often. This is straight up bad advice.
Look, I'm just going to have to get myself out of this hole somehow. And one of the most important first steps is physical health. But being essentially unable to eat, I found that if I could stomach anything, I wanted it to be nutritionally dense. I wanted it to be something that was going to give me the best chance.
All of the animal foods I have mentioned so far contain no fiber and are high in calories. Cosmic Skeptic can either follow the bad advice of lifting vegan logic, go back to veganism, and probably stay in the hole forever, or he can eat a diet which contains foods high in calories and no fiber. Are there any such foods made from plants? If you can name one food, then I challenge you to name at least 10 more, because you can't expect a man to only eat one food item for the rest of his life. In the meanwhile, the solution is to eat meat. Bon appetit!